Hello, hello. What day is it even? I think it's Tuesday. I believe it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I'm coming to you from a spot in Seadyville, Kentucky, which is out in the absolute sticks. So we shall see how this connection works. And if this connection works, it looks like I'm live. Um, Try not to touch anything, move anything, or break anything. I'm out in the wilderness in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky with my best friend whose birthday is today and 3 dogs in a giant house with a garden and a creek. And it's been so incredibly hot that we haven't done a whole lot of anything here except for sit on the patio in the shade. I'm wondering if it's as hot as blazes where you are because I pay zero attention to the news, so I really don't know what's going on. Looks like there is one person here whom disappeared, so let me check and make sure I have an internet connection. I think I have an internet connection. I'm running off my Cincinnati Wi Fi here and hoping this is going to work. As I said, I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and the persons whose house it is left us the Wi Fi and password. And after 10 minutes to trying to connect to that, I can't make it happen. Hello, Tina. How are you? Hello, hello. So, we're going to see if this internet connection holds up. If not, I may have to wait until Wednesday when I'm back in back in Cincinnati. In my last video, which I'm surprised turned out at all, you guys, because we were the day I made the video was the day after the X class solar flare and 69 M class flares, and that's a lot. So I normally, like all of you, get stirred up by this incredible, beautiful, brilliant solar light. It stirs things up within us. And those that blog or make videos or creative writing or maybe even songwriters are very, very apt to jump on social media, be super creative, and share. However, there's a lot of tech glitches involved when we have these kinds of solar storms. So, Tina, let me know if you can hear me okay and the connection's okay. I feel like the worst birthday hostess ever because, like I said, we are in an absolutely solar radiating time of massive flares. The other day, when I was on the phone with my friend, we had an X class flare in progress while I was speaking to her. And as most of us know, that energy can make you feel really sleepy, but also really blissed out and really creative as well. So I'm here in Sadieville, Kentucky, out in the middle of the sticks. It's Kim's birthday. I want to say 68 or 69, ninth birthday. Hello, Don, living light to dark. Oh, you have power outages. Oh, you couldn't do a podcast. Oh, wow. Yeah, I was wondering if I was going to even be able to do this because I guess the power has been surging for many days in a row due to all these, I want to say 73 or 74 solar flares just in the last couple of days um, since I checked. So I'm out here and it's Kim's, I don't know, 68th or 69th birthday. She was born in 56. I guess that makes her 67. I think that's correct. Anyway, I was so exhausted after she drug me around to the dollar store and Sam's Club that I came home and I'm like, just let me rest a little bit. And I laid down to rest at 5:55 and woke up at 7:44. I slept for almost 2 hours. When I woke up, she had um, very close to finish the entire bottle of champagne that she bought herself for her birthday. And she's like, you better hurry up and get a glass and start drinking it. But I informed her a couple of days ago that I'm not drinking, period. So we'll see how that goes. Um, Thank you, Tina, for telling me that the connection is good. So appreciate you. Tonight, I want to talk about social media. Perhaps you're blogging, your connectedness to what you feel called to do, your soul's mission on planet Earth, and why that may not be getting around like it needs to, um, or like that you had high hopes of that happening, especially when we're creative and we share what we feel like can most at the time help us and help other people. And you guys let me know if you're still there. I really don't. I see Tina and I see Dawn, but it's went from 3 people to telling me that there's nobody here. So I keep, I hate to keep asking you to check and let me know if everything is still working. The last video, I'm surprised that it even worked on the day that I chose to make it. Um, However, the light on my screen was going waxing and waning the entire time I was making it a video. And I actually thought that it might just be showing that on my end and not your end, but that was actually not the case. Let me try something real quick. Okay, I'm turning that off and seeing if we can hold the connection with my Wi-Fi turned off. I'm not sure what we'll be connecting to. Maybe just the other side of the veil, but let's see. Okay, you are still here. Okay, so interestingly enough, that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. How do you feel when you go live and there's no one there? Or how do you feel when you pour your heart and soul into a blog and no one reads it or no one likes it? Um, it can make you feel like you're not doing the right thing. However, the truth of it is, it's not the fact that no one's seeing it or that no one's liking it or that you're not actually reaching people with what you feel like your sole purpose is. There's a lot of just what social media chooses to promote. And the algorithms are so incredibly strange. Um, if on YouTube you do not get a certain amount of people, like over 30 people or 40 people, your video will just sit in some sort of queue and no one will see it. So, in that case, your video on these social media platforms, your blogs, your creativity, whatever you're putting out there to be of assistance, may just not be getting around, period, or it may be getting around and it just may not look like it's getting around. So part of this video is going to be about that. We're going to talk about non-player characters and we're going to talk about the liquidation of cryptocurrency, which I've been warning you about for a long time. And I would say 5 or 6 months ago, when I was asked to deliver the message about cryptocurrency crashing, um, I really didn't want to because this is not an economic channel. I am in no way an economic forecaster, and nor do I use my psychic abilities the majority of the time unless someone's wanting a reading or specifically to tap into that. I don't use my abilities to tap into those kinds of things. Nevertheless, I was asked repeatedly for probably 3 or 4 weeks to talk about that with my audience. And so I finally did. And I think 5 or 6 months ago, I gave you a warning that cryptocurrency was going to crash. Okay, so we're also going to talk about that as well. And we're going to talk about a continuation of the overlapping realities that I talked about the last time. Um, that I was here as well. All right, let me try one last thing here. I have no idea why my phone would even work to make a video if the Wi-Fi was completely turned off, but for some reason, that is what is happening. Thank you, Tina, for telling me that you're still here. So, what I want you to know, especially on this platform, is whomever shows up to watch your live video, that's how it gets out there. And I don't know exactly how the algorithm works, but I will tell you this: wherever your video goes in the night, in a couple of hours after you've gone live, during and after you're live, that's all you're going to get. So if you have a small subscription amount on your channel and you are waking up to 1,000 views, when you wake up to that 1,000 views the next day, it's not going to do anything, which seems very counterintuitive and very productive, because you would think if 1,000 people watched you the night before that would throw you into the algorithm, but it doesn't. You have one night. How's that song go? You've only got one shot. That's how YouTube works. So even though there's like 800 people on my channel, if the video doesn't get out initially when it's live, which it's not doing at all right now, it's still telling me there's only one person here and 0 likes. So, it's very, very strange. So I could get 1,500 views the night I make a video, and then it just sits there, and it could be on my channel for 6 months and never goes any further than that. The important thing that I want you to know about this, and I want you to know about it because whatever you're writing songs about, whatever you're blogging about, whatever you're putting yourself out there to speak, what you feel is your mission and your direction, and what you should be doing right now is that it may make you feel like it's useless, like what you're doing is unimportant, that no one cares, all these things, okay? Now, I'm not talking about this from an egotistical standpoint. I'm talking about really using your passion and your drive to do something and then having it look in physical reality like nothing's happening with it at all, okay? So the reason that is happening is because that is what they want you to see, and they want you to see that no one's paying attention or that your message isn't getting out there, because they want you to perceive that what you are doing and what you are saying is actually just not important. um, Pouring your soul's ambition, your drive, your creativity into something you feel is important, they want you to feel that it is not important, so you will not continue to do that. And I know that sounds crazy. We all know, however, how social media works. And if you love makeup tutorials and you are watching them every time you have them in your feed, of course, your feed is going to be filled with makeup tutorials. I've spoken about this before, but it's just the perfect example. Okay, so my feed is full of makeup tutorials and fashion kind of things. Now, as much as I love um, fashion and having a personal style, I never look at fashion or personal style on social media or any of those platforms, because I don't care what's in style. I don't care what's trendy. I don't care what is popular, what other people doing, what other people are saying, what other people are wearing, or how other people are doing their makeup. I just don't, even though I love fashion and you can tell by my face, I definitely use makeup. It's not something that I want to listen to or watch. Yet I'm inundated with hundreds of videos a day, just in an hour or two of scrolling social media. So if that is happening to you, and also with that, the things that I'm really interested in: gardening, electroculture, tiny house movement, and mostly music, those things are not coming up in my feed, or they are almost never coming up in my feed. And why is that? So the first thing is, what does social media promote? What is social media promoting? But the deeper question here is, why are they promoting what they are promoting? Because if you're a woman, for example, they want you to be concerned with your makeup and how you look and what's popular and what's in fashion, um, and all of that stuff, whether you care about it, whether you stop to read about it, whether you ever look at it. Um, if that's not important to you. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be, do makeup or be a makeup influencer or a fashion influencer or any of those things. I'm just simply telling you that if you don't care about those things and you don't watch those things, yet your feed is absolutely inundated with those things, the reason is because they're wanting to streamline or push the focus of people in general, specifically women, right? If you're a woman on social media, into feeling. The most important thing is feeling, because whatever we feel, we generate, we create, we give them more of. So the whole point in this for them, um, is to make, is to want to push you into a different direction. Because I've even talked to some of you about this before. It's very tempting to say, and I've mentioned this before on my channel, let me just eat a bag of chips and sit in bed with my laptop, because I made that joke before. And the reason I did is because this person kept coming up in my feed that literally just sits in her bed in her pajamas with their laptop eating chips, and there are 500 people watching. Um, she wasn't talking and wasn't particularly good looking. If someone was half naked in bed, that would look like a supermodel or a porn star, again, I would think that would generate attention. So, what I'm saying is the algorithm is based on not only what they want to promote, but the algorithm is also based on wanting you to feel that things outside of the way you look or how you dress, um, or what's going on, gossip going on the world stage, those are the things that they want you to focus on. That's number one. And the reason, the underlining reason that they do that is so that the millions of people like me and like you that are writing blogs or writing songs or wanting to assist or even just give a spark of inspiration to people in what we are going through in a very challenging time, so that they feel frustrated, like this is pointless, I want to give up, I'm not going to do this. Are you pouring your heart and soul into something yet feel important? Are you pouring your heart and soul into something, but feeling like because your message is not heard or that you are not seen, even if it's a one on one relationship, if we don't feel heard and we don't feel seen, we're not going to want to continue the relationship. So their priority, their whole goal is to have you believing that outside of the way you look and things that are acceptable to the norm, there's no reason, Don, for you to be making these wonderful podcasts. There's no reason for us to be blogging or sharing our strange paranormal, supernatural experiences and all of those things. Okay, so what social media promotes and why they're promoting it. Like I said, the biggest reason is they want you focused on external reality. But the underlining and most important reason is they want you to undoubtedly question yourself and why you're here. Now, we may think something's super important and it's our mission. In 2 weeks from now, we may change or shift that perspective. We may change and shift even what we're doing or what platform we're doing it on. We're ever evolving in our expanded consciousness right now. Um, but nevertheless, even if we're going with the flow and shifting and changing what we are doing, social media is never going to promote that sort of thing. Okay. So by putting your energy and your time and your inspiration and your enthusiasm into a project that means everything to you, heart and soul, and not being seen and not being heard, you will want to stop writing that blog. You will want to stop writing those videos. That is a really big thing if we understand how incredibly important that is, because in any relationship dynamic, whether it's your wife, your girlfriend, your son, a family member, if you don't feel seen and you don't feel heard, what do? You want to stop working on that relationship with that person. So just know that their goal is to get you to feel unimportant, not heard, and not seen, so that you will stop doing, even if it changes from minute to minute or hour to hour or day to day. Their whole agenda is to stop you from following the direction that is in your heart and in your soul, so that you will feel unimportant and unheard and unseen. Okay, so never stop doing, even in the flow of changing things minute by minute or hour by hour. Never stop doing what you're doing in the moment of now when it feels right in the heart and soul. That's the stuff with YouTube is very, very strange to me. It was mind blowing to me that I woke up to 1,500 views on my channel, and I've never had 1,500 views on my channel. And then the video just stopped cold in its tracks. And I thought, well, that's really strange. That many people seeing that. So don't give up your inspiration, your motivation, and putting energy into a direction that you think is important for you. Because those numbers and those algorithms are designed so that you will feel unheard, unseen, uninspired, right? And have you thinking the same thing I was thinking and mentioned to my friend weeks ago. If the only way to get the message about is to and around through the algorithm is to sit in bed with pajamas on and eat a bag of chips, maybe I should consider doing that. That thought did not last that long. However, at the base of this, their agenda is exactly that. They want you to think, maybe I should do this, in my pajamas. Maybe I should just. It's very strange to me because I would never, unless you're a food channel, I would never think about eating on screen. It's just so completely and totally bizarre to me. And at the bottom of that as well, they're asking you on a subconscious level through social media and the algorithms, do you fit the cookie cutter? Are you ever going to be successful by doing something that you feel is important and driven by heart and soul? When you see how other things go on social media platforms when you work your butt off and it appears that no one's here. And speaking of that, I find it incredibly strange, especially after recently, that there is only one person here. That is pretty amazing. Bear with me 1 second. I don't even know what that was. Um, actually thought that I had beat the Facebook algorithm. For some reason, Facebook also, I don't know about the other ones. I don't use Instagram. I don't use Twitter. I don't use anything else. But for some reason, Facebook does not like YouTube, period, end of story. So what used to happen is, and it's not about my message or my personality or anything, it has nothing to do with me. It's solely YouTube related. And I know that because I could post a song by Etta James, Michael Jackson, doesn't matter. Hardly anybody on my feed will see it, and nobody will see it unless they go to Facebook directly to my personal page. Um, I found a way about a year ago to beat that algorithm, and that is to type some kind of long blogish um, thing about what the video is about. But I did that today when I shared videos, because I stopped sharing videos from YouTube to Facebook about a year ago. Then I discovered that that was very helpful and that that worked. And so I started writing. And again, a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of inspiration going into moving it from one social media platform to another, and yet nothing. So today I wrote an entire article and then put my video up there, and still only 2 of you can see that. You're still watching while working. Yeah, it's telling me that there's literally one person here, so I don't know if Dawn is still here or not. But that's just incredibly strange. And I did talk about a lot of things in the last video that might have rang a bell for video suppression, but it's still very incredibly weird. Um, and the next thing is that I want to ask you about is what you believe to be true. Is it true? Or have you just believed that for so long? You heard that information, you accepted that as true. And I know it's easy to do because the educational system, whether you're talking about first grade or college or anything, unless you're going to a trade school, um, the education system is set up for them to teach you math, science, whatever it is that they're teaching you, biology, molecular biology, anything that they're teaching you. Is it true? Most of it is not true. The indoctrinated education system is not here to give you expansion or enlightenment or push you in an energetic direction of reaching outside the box that they have created for humanity. So most of what we've grown up to believe is true is not true. And what happens then is a big part of the population has accepted the information that was provided by that indoctrinated system as true. And once they heard it, maybe 20 years later, they're still believing that same information, that same indoctrinated, in the box, calculated, agendic thing is true. And maybe it's been 20 years since you were taught that, or maybe it's been, 45 years since you were taught that. But over half of humanity on this planet right now is holding on to things, agendic things, that they have been taught in a box by the paradigm of the matrix. And things also change as far as, science or astrology or astronomy. They are constantly learning new things, doesn't mean they're sharing them. So is what you believe to be true, is it actually true, or did you just accept that information and not look any further? We had a whole lot of this going on in 2019. Yeah. I know, of course. I mean, when you're younger, you would think, well, why would they lie to me about biology? Why would they not tell me that someone's lung can regenerate, or that you can regenerate everything in your body literally by walking barefoot and ground, and pulling that electric charge out of the body, but also connecting with the positive, negative charge of planet Earth? Because planet Earth has a north and a south pole, just like the batteries in your junk drawer have a north and south pole, a positive and negative pole. And everything on this earth is magnetized and has a north and south pole. That's how atoms, neutrons, everything works. I have no science to back up anything I say. Most people that follow this channel know it's intuitive and it's not backed by science or astrology or astronomy or anything else, okay? But the planet and everything on it at a cellular level has a positive and negative side. And I don't mean positive good, negative bad. I mean electromagnetic charge that is both positive and negative. So, when we know that, we know we're always in the ever changing flow of that positive and negative battery. Your body has a north pole and a south pole, meaning your body is a positive, negative battery. That's why what you eat, what you drink, how you sleep, how you move your body in exercise or physical activity is the byproduct that creates your personal energetic biosphere, right? So you can't see it, but your body, well, some of you can, your body has an auric field. That auric field, just like the earth can create the aurora borealis, right? From that magnetism, there's other things involved, but the earth has a north and south pole, creating a biosphere or circle of energetics around it that is ever changing, right? There's static, there's energy moving in, flowing through your body every second of the day, whether you can see auras, auric fields or not. Your body has a north and south pole, and it is, you are an energetic being. Like I said, that's why how you move your body and everything you give yourself, everything you put in your mouth, affects you in a great way. What is really hard sometimes, first for us to understand perhaps, and then maybe for us to integrate, and thirdly for us to share or put out in the world, and this is connected to the fact that social media promotes certain things um, that are not what you and I are here to do and what we are here to talk about. Okay, so regardless whether that's social media algorithms, whether that is how people in your family and friends circle see you, your coworkers see you, um, you had a purpose before you came in here, whether you believe that or not. And I'm not saying your purpose was a specific time or a specific date or a specific something, but there's an energy around your birth and you're choosing to come in here. And it's definitely always a choice. But the thing that's so incredibly important that I want you to know is that you had a purpose long before anybody around you had an opinion. Okay. So it doesn't matter what other people's opinions, what other people's drives are, what other people want you to do, what other people want you to promote, right? I don't care what YouTube wants to me to promote, because if it was coming from the ego and I was saying, well, I just want to have a large social media presence, I just want to put myself out there, I just want to make revenue from social media platforms, then I would care about what the opinion was on social media or the people around me, but I don't. And just remember, you had a purpose long before anybody else around you had an opinion. The next thing I want to talk very briefly about is, and I've touched on this before, non-player characters. And people think because our gifts are turned on and really amped up that we may be able to easily recognize people who are non-player characters, right? Because a lot of times on social media, this is super simplified. Like, oh, non-player characters, NPCs, are just people that are there to fill space. They're just people that are there without a consciousness. They're just people that are not part of this process, and they are part of this process in a multitude of ways. But non-player characters are running on programming, okay? Not to say all of humanity is not running on programming, because social media and what social media promotes and how you make that feel, that's also part of programming. Because it goes both ways. How does that make you feel to be unseen, unheard, all of that? What are they promoting and why are they promoting it? Okay, so non-player characters are not just someone like extras in a movie that just stand around so they can have the perfect shot and pay someone just not to stare at the camera, right? Because if they filmed those scenes of the movie and they just used the people that were naturally in the background, the people would be trying to get in front of the camera, the people would be trying to get closer to see what's going on. Some people would try to interject, some people might start singing or dancing like flash mob. A lot of things would happen. So they spend a lot of money paying for these characters to act nonchalant, paying for these characters to not look at the camera, right? To not break out in song or dance or try to get themselves on TV. It's like what happens, when the news goes live in a crowd somewhere. We know what that's like. So non player characters are not just someone standing there filling in, playing around in the background. What in the world? Okay. There's an unrecognizable bug crawling on me right now. Go over here till later. Okay. I guess he was a fill in my show. A non paid NPC insect. So you might think because you have a big awareness or because you're psychic or super intuitive and really empathic that you're going to be like, wow, I just met Tina in the grocery store. She's such a non-player character and it's so obvious. Okay. Because if they were going to design non-player characters to be obvious, what would be the point? You'd be like, oh, well, Dawn is just a cardboard stand-in, or Dawn is just an extra in this movie. Dawn is just a non-player character, right? Dawn is silent. She has no effect. She has no purpose. She has no any of that. But non-player characters are here to show us things, first of all. But the reason why you can be all of these amazing things and have your gifts turned on and still not know who that person is because that non-character player again is running on a programming. We have all been programmed through everything, every indoctrinated part of your physical reality has been adapted, manipulated, and programmed to get you think, feel, shop, vibe a certain way. Okay. And we all are very aware of that all already. But when we think of non-player character, we think of somebody that's just in the background, just an extra in the movie, right? It's taken even the importance away from the non-player character. But the non-player character is not somebody that's just standing there like a cardboard standee that has no place in this, that has no role in our physical reality. The difference is when there is a fourth dimension or any dimension above a third dimensional overlay or energy, is they are not affected by it. So if you are telling someone in your friends or family or coworker, wow, we've had, 3x class solar flares in the last 3 days. And they're like, oh, I didn't notice anything. I didn't hear anything. I didn't feel any different. Life was just the way it is every single day. There you go. That's one of the ways you know that that is a non-player character. The only exception to that is sometimes the program that they're running on, because it was not made to incorporate, for whatever reason, the fourth dimension or energy overlay above the third, they may have a short out. Okay. They may short out when you're speaking to them, or specifically, they're going to short out when they hear anything that is above what is programmed, not only within their circuitry, but within their motherboard of DNA. Okay. I know this is not going to be something that's going to be popular, but there was a creator of all of life on planet Earth, but there have been so many races that have created and recreated and altered and tinkered with as well. Okay, so with the non-player character, they are solely running on a 3D programming. Now, what that means for you is no matter what you talk to them about or try to awaken them or share information with them, you may share it, they may say thank you, but it goes right above and over the programming that they're running on. So we would think, look at some people that are, I'm just going to use this for an example, not all people that are wealthy and famous fall into this category at all. So don't think that. But these non-player characters have so many things that are built into the programming that you would associate with an organic human, not a non-player character. For example, you're getting married and they buy you a card. Congratulations, that's amazing. Having babies, okay? So we think it's really cut and dry, really black and white. But if when you and I got to this point where our discernment was incredibly sharpened and our awareness was incredibly expansive, we would just know, oh, don't waste your time, don't waste your energy. That's a non player character. So they're going to have all these emotional things programmed, right? So I don't want you to think that an NPC doesn't have a place, doesn't have an energy, or that if sometimes people are just jerks, right? So if someone's not congratulating you on your marriage or on your pregnancy or on your, promotion, that doesn't mean that they're an NPC, because all of those things will have been built into the NPC player, to the non-player characters um, programming. Okay, congratulations on your baby, on your promotion. Um, Congratulations on losing 100 pounds or running the iron or being involved in Ironman. What is so it and all of those things? It's not as simple as we think that the non-character player does not play a part or cannot be empathetic. So what I'm saying is there are a whole lot more non-player characters than you think there are. Now, a couple of the things that I'll tell you that will show you about the non-player characters. The first thing is, at first physical glance, a lot of these non-player characters will be a lot more attractive than your average beautiful human being. Yeah, exactly, Tina. It's very hard. It doesn't work. It can be like a deer in headlights. And sometimes, with older people, it just could be that they lovingly might listen to you, but once they get set in their ways for so many years, they cannot allow themselves or invite themselves to override that programming as easily people as younger people can. But again, so someone that is a non-player character is going to have a lot more in their third dimensional body, cellular, energetic programming than you think that they are. Okay. So when you start a description or a sharing of information that is above the third dimension, that's when they're like the deer in headlights. I've noticed that these high solar flares, specifically X class solar flares, um, can kind of give a problem within the NPC. Okay, so if you think about a computer or piece of technology that's solely third dimensional, and you put that in a frequency, let's say you send it out to space, or put it in a room of copper and crystal or really high frequency, it's going to start malfunctioning, just like my phone is going to malfunction when it's out in the sun and it's overheating. So they are essentially doing that same thing. But most importantly, as much as the 3D program that NPCs are running on is extremely intricate beyond what you would imagine. And the purpose of that, again, is not only to keep that person in the 3D matrix box, even when the matrix is gone, because the second thing that I want to mention, beyond the fact that they are usually much more good looking than the rest of us, is the fact that they are super, super money driven or driven by the things that were promoted in education system since the time we were a child. Since the time we were a child, the importance is on education, continuing education, continuing to build that bank. And I'm not saying someone is an NPC because they're beautiful. I'm not saying that someone is an NPC solely because they're very career oriented and goal focused. But I'm talking, you can look at people that are extremely famous on social media platforms, that's all there is. So maybe all they're ever sharing is their strategy to get rich, or whatever. And even if that is their niche market, you're never going to find an Instagram family photo, with the wife and kids for that kind of person. That's another way to recognize the NPC. Okay. And there's two reasons for that. The reason why they're so in the energetic flow of money and making that bank is because it's part of their programming. And the biggest thing about that, though, is it's not even for their own benefit, it's for the benefit of those controllers who are working to make money off those people, right? So it's a self-feeding system. So part of that program, the majority of that program, of them being so money focused, money driven, and goal oriented, is so they, and I don't know how many people there are on this planet, but the reiteration of the importance of goals and jobs and extenuous heaps of money, all about that bank, all about the Benjamins, right? How many songs talk about that? The influence runs very deeply through pop and hip hop culture as well. Benjamins, so you can get the cars and the clothes and all of those things that come with it. So the major reason why they are programmed that way, again, is not for the NPC itself, but for the system the NPC works for. Okay. The NPC is designed to make money for the establishment without ever thinking about this is right or wrong, or I should spend more time with my family, or anything like that. I should work on my consciousness. I should meditate. I should do all these things. And the program is intricate so that they don't know they are an NPC, and so that you don't know they are an NPC. Now, the reason that they were designed to be, and again, I'm not saying every model or every beautiful person is an NPC, but there was a specific mode of beauty standard for an NPC. And the reason why that is so that they could be more of an influence, or there could be more influencer type of personalities, right? Because if you're walking down the street and you see some drop dead, gorgeous man or woman, of course, everyone's going to turn around and look, right? And to especially people that put emphasis only on what someone's body looks like or someone's face looks like, again, you have a money focus and you have a huge, giant distraction. So that is my bit on the non-player character. Okay, they're running solely on a program. Nothing you do, nothing you say, nothing you share with them, no TED talk. Nothing is ever going to change them. And the reason is because unlike the organic human, which looks the same, the organic whole human is open to the new frequency that is here on earth, and they are not. We are open to the new, we are ever expanding, they are not. And this is just my guidance and my psychic and ability and my intuition. I haven't looked anything up in 2 years other than if I keep seeing a repeated animal or repeated number synchronicity. Sometimes I will look up what that symbolism or what that particular number sequence means if I don't have it memorized, because I've been reading and memorizing those number sequences, I think, since 2013, sometime around there. Okay, so moving on here. I have been telling you for at least 5 months that cryptocurrency was going to crash. It's not something I wanted to share because it's not something where my knowledge base resides. The only thing I know about our economic system on planet Earth is the way it was designed and why it was designed that way. And those watching this channel already understand that. So I really didn't want to talk about it. I have probably said 3 or 4 times in the last 4 or 5 months, this year is the year of the dragon. They like to mess around with financial stuff, and they love to do resets on dragon years. Okay, so I've been saying that for at least 4 months. Okay. I mentioned that to a friend of mine the other day when I was on the phone with Shannon, and she told me that an article had come up in her feed a few minutes before we were talking, and it said over 1 billion people have liquidated cryptocurrency in the past 24 hours. And she's like, oh, what does that mean that they liquidated it? And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure that that means that they've taken it out of cryptocurrency, right? To liquidate your house would be to sell it in exchange for fiat currency. So having this mass, I believe it was $1 billion. Okay. It was a lot. Okay. But it was not only was that amount of money pulled out of cryptocurrency, it was pulled out of cryptocurrency in 24 hours. Now, the one thing I know about how they run this and how they like to do resets and all of this stuff, because we've been hearing about a reset in our benefit for a very long time, and we've yet to see that happen. Having that amount of money be liquidated in 24 hours is astronomical. And what happens in the markets when that snowball starts and rolls downhill, it turns into an avalanche. So people like you and I that do not have millions of dollars will look at that and say, I should probably pull my money out of crypto, which I told you guys to do quite a long time ago. Oh, grand evening to you, James. Thank you for joining us. So now I see 3 of you, and it tells me there's 2 of you here. So disengage and just don't pay attention to social media, Tina. I have to remind myself of that. So having that much money pulled out and liquidated within a 24-hour period. I don't care who's doing it, why they're doing it. We know why they're doing it. And I've been warning you about it for months and months and months. Do not keep money in cryptocurrency. Now, what do you put your money in? You put your money in anything that's physical: a car, a house, a piece of artwork, property, businesses, anything, but you don't want to have it in things that are not physical. Okay, that's my extent on market advice for you. However, not only cryptocurrency, but any kind of stock market, any kind of stock, any kind of bond, any kind of anything. No matter who started this crash of cryptocurrency or who starts any part of a crash in any sort of sector of the market, here's what they do every single time. They'll pull a lot of money out of crypto or out of some spot in the market. Okay. Then everyday people that are not millionaires will panic and they'll pull their money out. And then once it really starts to crash, everybody will pull their money out, or almost everybody. So it's a double whammy. Not only have you liquidated your assets from cryptocurrency or from markets or stocks or bonds, whatever. Not only have you done that, you have dropped that stock worth or that cryptocurrency or whatever. Let's say it's down to 2 cents, right? Okay, so in this market expanding, mind-blowingly huge crypto market right now, if there's billions of dollars pulled out, people go on the freak out, the everyday people, and pull their money out. There's so much money pulled out of that. And the whole reason that they will do that, and then what they will do is they will come in and, let's say your cryptocurrency, or that particular, let's say, and guys, I have no idea, so this is going to be an example. Let's say Bitcoin right now is $3,000 for a Bitcoin, okay? And you have bought many Bitcoins at 3,000. If they start pulling mass money out to the point where you and I pull mass money out, it will go so far that the people that started this on purpose will then go in and buy that Bitcoin, let's say, for pennies on the dollar. Okay, so what might have been worth $3,000 or $4,000 48 hours ago is now only worth 2 cents. So you may be thinking, oh, wow, I'm glad I pulled it out of there because now it's only worth 2 cents. But their plan is to go in there and then buy billions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency for pennies on the dollar. That's what's happening. I'm going to say it, and then I probably will stop telling you to take your damn money out of cryptocurrency. 5 months, I feel like, is enough of a warning to be saying that sort of stuff. Oh, we only have 3 or 4 people here, and we have 2 James here. James Whitkiss and James, I believe that's Fadike. I'm so sorry if I said your name incorrectly. It's so incredibly hard to see with this O light, which I lovingly call my crime light. Speaking of which, let's. Well, that was really helpful. All right. One moment. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna stop messing around. It's a strobe light dance party. Okay, I'm done playing around with you now. I'm sorry. Okay. So, what I want to talk to you about right now is the both energetic and physical reality tornado that we have. Now, I know, as we were talking about the education system earlier, that I believe it was about first or second grade that they taught us about tornadoes, okay, right? So you have a hot front and you have a cold front, and those come into contact and they can cause lightning and crazy intense energy, and they spawn tornadoes. Okay, I'm making that analogy because it is absolutely the most simple analogy that I can use to explain what is happening both physically and energetically on this planet right now. So, if a hot front and a cold front energy combines, that is where the tornado is spawned. So, what I want you to think of as the cold front right now is the third dimension, meaning your physical body, your physical reality, the physical reality of Earth, the physical reality of everything that's around you that you can touch, taste, smell, hear. That is your physical reality. So, the third dimension that has always been here for millennia, that means our physical reality, is the cold front. The hot front is the fact that we have a template overlay or an energy storm that I want you to look at as the hot front. Okay, so 3D reality that's been in place physically for millennia, what you can see, taste, smell, and touch, has been for the last couple years overlaid. Okay, and we can kind of think of that. Maybe this is a good way to do it. Okay, so here's the third dimension right here. Okay, existed for millennia, your physical reality. The overlay of the fourth dimension has been here, but somewhat not in complete alignment with us, or only partially here. So, what is happening in a sort of energetic way as these two planes are becoming closer and closer and closer together? Hence, I started talking about, and the hashtag in the last video was juxtaposition. Your physical reality is being overlaid by a fourth dimensional frequency. And that, in its essence and in its basics, means your third dimensional reality is not only physical reality, it was your inception point for coming in here to figure out who you were as a personal or individual identity. That's what the third dimension is at an energetic level. We know what it is on the physical level. The fourth dimension is a sound or a sound vibration or a sound wave that is descending down like these two oranges to the point where they're overlaying each other. So the third dimension is you coming into physical reality to figure out who you are at an individual identity. That's the wave, the frequency of the vibration of the third dimension. The fourth dimension, sound wave, frequency, or the sound, the vibration that it makes, the energy that it brings, is the sound, energy, and frequency of responsibility. Okay, so if we have a wave down here that's my physical reality, that's who I am, that's how I feel, that's my identity that I've discovered who I am. And then I've got this other wave, this other frequency coming down on it, which is the frequency of the responsibility. You have a hot front. This is so weird that I'm having deja vu because I know I've never talked about this. So we have the cold front, which is third dimensional Earth, being overlaid by the hot front, which is the fourth dimensional overlay, and it's causing an extreme amount of friction in what we're doing, what we're eating, how we're taking care of ourselves, whether we're smoking, doing drugs, drinking, the relationships that we're in. It's a pressure cooker for you to look at who I am as an individual identity and what should I be responsible for, not only in my own life, but in the life and on the world stage. It's why you have so many people talking on social media and blogging and writing and making videos about what they feel they're called to share right now to assist other people and connect with other people and share those ideas with other people. And what I started with in the video is, what is social media promoting, and why is social media promoting what they are promoting? Because again, they don't want the physical reality, your personal identity, the physical reality and the identity of the world, what we're taught, what we should be doing, or what we're taught we should be doing, to be affected by the fourth dimensional frequency or sound wave that's saying, James, take responsibility. You know who you are. You already figured out your individual identity. Now center that in neutrality and put it out into the world, whatever way you're helping. And I do know that obviously we're not all going to write blogs. We're not all going to, write songs like I Inko. Hey, I'm from outer space. I can't remember how that goes. I got Milky Way blood in my veins. But we come together in this neutrality, in our individuality. And what they are trying to stop by promoting makeup and clothing and the hottest cars and the rich people and non-monogamous relationships and all these crazy other things, pornography, that they're promoting, are just so that once you know your personal identity in the third dimension, that you don't use that overlay to make not only course corrections for you, but jump in there together as one big 0 point, one big reset for James and Tina and Don and all of us to get together and say, nope, this is the frequency of responsibility. This is what it looks like when we come together and we take responsibility for what we've figured out as an individual the world most needs, or the direction that we would like to see the world most go into. Okay, so for millions of years, we have had the world go into direction that those manipulators and usurpers and puppet masters were controlling the direction of the world. Okay, but we have figured out most recently, and by recently I mean some of us in the last 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, but a huge amount of people in the last 4 years of like, oh, wow, this is not a system I want to partake in, right? But until you figure out what your individual part in that is, and again, 3D, you've got to figure out your individual identity and what your place is in helping the change, the reset, whatever you want to call it. Again, this, if so many people are feeling called to change things, energy moves us. Okay. Your best friend, your husband may call you and say, it's now really, I feel like it's really important for us to do this right now in this very moment. But we are moved and inspired and changed by that energy. So the cold front and the warm front that you learned about in first or second grade that creates tornadoes is creating a tornado between how they have run this planet for millennia and how you and I as individuals are going to come together to create that shift. And we've been massively working on that shift for a long time. It really, really, I would say, picked up in the 80s, but the last 4 years have been absolutely and totally astronomical in that change as well. They don't want your awareness to rise and become more multidimensional because then you can see the strings of manipulation going on. Exactly, James, exactly. And they don't want you to notice the difference between the new frequency. If you're in panic about the price of eggs and your health insurance and how you're going to ever buy a house when you've been saving money for forever, then maybe you're not going to look at the fact that things are really screwed up and unfair, and we won't band together and change those. Because how could I have time when I spend all my time working for the price of eggs or the price of health insurance or whatever it is? Okay. Which goes right back to, why does social media promote what they promote? Yes. But no matter what, there's the physical reality of us figuring out who we are as individuals, and also the giant awakening that's happened on planet Earth where people are like, it's not right. So the it's not right moment has been happening very, very strongly since the 60s. Okay. But within the last just 3 and 4 years, most specifically, the amplification of the energy of moving past it's not right, James, right? What they're doing is not right. We know. So many of us have known for decades it's not right. The energy of the last 4 years and the energy of the juxtaposition now is, it's not just that it's not right, because we've known that forever. The question is, if it's not right, what am I going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? How are we going to work together to make it right? Hello. I wonder if I can show you how cute you are. Oh, and they disappeared. All three dogs are behind me because Kim's wandering around. She was asleep, but then she got back up. I knew that was going to happen because she had the whole bottle of champagne herself. And she accused me of not being festive. But like I said, I informed her that alcohol was not going to be part of physical reality anymore. So there you go. I wasn't exactly the best birthday host, I guess, in that. So if you're wondering why all this shit is being stirred up and why there's so much chaos and why there's so many tornadoes, right? There's a tornado on the medical front that happened about 4 years ago. Now there's been one in the financial front, the financial markets as well, and now that's taking a dive also, right? So the difference between, or the juxtaposition, the energy that is created for the juxtaposition between the third dimension and the fourth dimension is causing energetic chaos. That's why I'm referring to it as a tornado, because it is energetic. And it is, I spoke about this briefly in the last video, it's causing you to force yourself to realign or cut out things you shouldn't do, relationships, alcohol, geographical locations, whatever it is. But it's also causing things to crash and change, not just for you personally, but on the world stage as well. Okay, so the juxtaposition or the overlay between the third and fourth dimension is causing chaos. And the point of that chaos is for you to alter what you're doing and course correct according to your personal identity. Who have I found myself to be at a soul level, and what is my direction? And what does my direction now include and not include? But the whole point of you doing that, or me doing that, or us doing that, we doing that as individuals, is so that we can come together and say, okay, something's not right. It hasn't been right on any of these fronts in physical reality for a long time. And now we're going to do something about it. And there have been people that have been doing something about it for a long time. So I know I'm not coming here to say that no one's ever done anything and now our generation is. No, it's been happening forever. What I'm telling you is the energetic inspiration and energetic direction from the third and fourth dimensional juxtaposition, which is causing chaos and realignment in your personal life and on the world stage, is at an absolute crescendo, so that we are jumping in there and working on that. Okay. The biggest thing is we are noticing what a huge energetic and physical difference there is between how things would be in fairness, in freedom, in abundance, and perfect health, how that could be, and how it currently is. Okay. So, and on the world stage as well, that means what is the difference between the identity of the world's direction of where it is and where it should be. This juxtaposition between the third and fourth dimension is almost solely between us as individuals and the system. This is about the system and us. And as I've said, we've known for a really long time that the system in every capacity, from education to finance, is not set up for we the people. And this is the time we do it. And so many of us may even feel intuitively, without knowing, that their whole deal about insisting on doing resets in a dragon year. Now there are going to be all kinds of other things, because I want to remind you that they have ancient knowledge, written ancient knowledge, this group of people, that the majority of the people on the planet do not have, unless you can remote view or have access to ancient books, things of antiquity, right? But this, again, is between the system and the people. And so if you're picking up on the energy of, oh, it's reset time for Tina or reset time for James, and I'm going to reset myself, I'm going to course correct myself, that is because as a planetary energy that's coming in, that's happening anyway. The reset is happening anyway. They jump on the bandwagon when certain things are right. And I don't know what all they base it on, but I do know they base it on where we are within the time spiral. I know that they base it on the energy of astrology and astronomy. I also know that they base it on the energy that comes in through what I can call like a wormhole or the galactic center for our section of the universe. They are aware that energy is coming through that. Are you okay, little buddy? Huh? Are you talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Sorry. They're so stinking cute. I can't help it. Wow, I've been on here for almost an hour and a half. I did not even realize I've been here that long. This reset is about you making the course corrections, and you've been making those for many, many years, so that the difference between the energetic and physical overlay between the third and fourth dimension catalyzes you in an energy to reset self in the energy that is conducive for the reset. And they wouldn't be dumping cryptocurrency and trying to crash it and create a reset if there wasn't all of these energetic and physical things that were lining up. Because remember, they do have that knowledge. And the last thing I want to tell you is no matter what social media is doing or saying or promoting or making you feel like you shouldn't be doing it or saying it or filming it because it's not getting anywhere, no one's hearing it, no one's hearing you, you're not heard, you're not seen, which is just to make you feel like you're unimportant. Hence the promotion of makeup and pornography and non-monogamous relationships and, junk food and all the other stuff they're promoting is to make you say, should I be writing this blog? Should I be making videos on this channel? Or should I be doing something else? If it's not picking up momentum, if I'm not getting seen, and again, not from an egotistic standpoint of view, from a soul driven, I came here to speak to you about something. If I'm not being heard by you and I'm not being seen by you, and I've been doing this for 3 years, maybe it's not the right thing for me to do, right? That's another thing that we've been taught, and we've been taught that one by the spiritual community as well. Well, maybe if I've been reading tarot for 3 years and I can't make a living off of that, then maybe that's not what I'm supposed to do. If I have a blog or if I have a channel or all these social media accounts to work in the assistance humanity because it's what my soul is telling me is my current course or my current pathway. And after 3 years, I'm still not being seen or not being heard. The spiritual community tells you if you're putting energy into the right direction, that's going to pick up speed and it's going to pick up momentum. So, and that is true to some extent, but that's why I started out this video with asking you, what is social media promoting and why are they promoting it? Is it making you feel unimportant, unseen, and unheard to work on something that is part of this reset? And I don't just mean financial. I mean, we're doing an energetic reset. We're doing a physical reset. We're going to establish a reset across the board, right? And money or cryptocurrency or the banking system, that's only a small part of that. It's so important that no matter how we feel heard or seen or suppressed by social media platforms, that we continue to do what we're doing as long as we feel called at the soul level to do that thing. Because the most powerful energy, according to the New Age community or the Lightworker community, is love and light. Always be kind and always shine your light. And again, there's nothing wrong with that either. But that itself is not even the truth, because that may have you second guessing yourself or suppressing what you say to people or wanting to not say the truth or not speak your truth because it doesn't sound particularly nice. It doesn't sound particularly engaging with that other person. So then we may say, so maybe I should just be love and light. Like, oh yeah, I think your idea is a great idea, even though I don't think it is a great idea. Okay, so please listen to exactly what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that love and light is not a great thing. I'm not saying it's not part of a pillar of the community of the light workers, way showers, star seeds, whatever you would like to call us. Okay. But the reason that everything has been infiltrated, including the light worker community, which happened a really long time ago, is so that you will believe certain things they want you to believe, and that you will hold on to that. You will not go with the flow and you will not change. What I want you to tell you is yes, love, peace, light, all of those things, gratitude, are incredibly frequency wise very helpful and very healing. They did a study with hundreds of people in a room. They told them to be nice. They told them to be social. They told them to be as sweet and as loving and as kind and as peaceful and possible. And then they measured the frequency with, I'm probably going to say this wrong, Cillian photography, to capture the light essence that comes off of you when you're engaging with other people in a loving, lighting, peaceful way. And it was amazing what they discovered. But here's the most amazing part. They then put that same group of people back in that same room and said, now we are not focusing solely on love and peace and shining our light. We are now focused on who we authentically are in this moment. What is my truth right now in this moment? That's what I come to share with you, however, the streams of consciousness come to me. What I'm sharing with you right now is where I'm led right now by the soul in my authenticity, meaning it could change tomorrow. What I'm saying here, how I'm feeling, it's going to keep changing and ever morphing into something different. But when they put all those people back in that same room and said, we are not focusing on love, light, and peace. We are now focusing on you being you, you speaking your truth, and you being the most authentic version of yourself, whether it's loving and peaceful or not. And guess what? The frequency in Cillian photography between love, light, and peace and authenticity, authenticity was 4,000 times brighter, more colorful, and larger on the Cillian photography when they were done with their experiment than love and light. So everybody thinking, feeling, sticking to that, you know what, James said something that hurt my feelings, but I'm going to come at this from love and light and gratitude. Instead of telling him what he did or what he said or his life purpose, what I think about it or how I think it's affecting people or whatever. However, I feel in my authenticity, in my soul purpose, how I should interact with James is 4,000 times the frequency of just saying, wow, James, that's amazing. Congratulations. That's so beautiful. If that's not authentically what I want to say and how I feel. Think about that. Maybe use that to guide yourself. Your love and light, okay, is 4,000 times less powerful than your authentic self. Speaking, being, and delivering your authenticity is 4,000 times stronger than just dealing with things from a point of love, light, and gratitude. And there is proof of that now. Thank you guys so much for your support, your love, and your kindness. Thank you for all the people that were so sweet. It did make me laugh, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but I've had such negative comments on the last couple lives and the last couple nights that I went live, and I'm going to start doing this almost every night. There were people saying, I love you and I want to marry you and you're beautiful. And that was really nice to see that shift into that and away from some of the crazy things people have been saying. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for choosing this time on planet Earth to assist in the reset and in the course correction of your own life so that you and I, that we, the collective, could all come together and ride this frequency of responsibility so that we can change. The fourth dimensional sound wave, the frequency that puts off is responsibility. Thank you so much for being here. And from somewhere in the sticks in Sadieville, Kentucky, good night.